Karl-Anthony Towns has heard all the criticism, especially about his defense. And recently, Cat addressed all of those concerns and spoke about what improvements he's making. Also, Miles McBride took a shot at former coach Tom Thibodeau and the way he utilized the roster. We're going to break down all of these latest reports today. If you're enjoying the content, please hit that subscribe button and have notifications turned on so you don't miss any new content. And now, let's get started. Cat discusses defensive issues. In his first year as a Knick, Karl-Anthony Towns made the All-Star team. And offensively, he was a monster for New York. But if there was one area many people, myself included, were critical of him on, it's with his defense. Offensively, he's one of the best fives in the NBA. But defensively, there's a major problem there. And recently, Karl-Anthony Towns sat down with Time Magazine to discuss his goals for this season and also to address those same defensive concerns. Shout out to New York Basketball on the app X and Time Magazine for giving us this following information. According to them, here's what Karl-Anthony Towns had to say on the criticism of his defense and aggressiveness. According to Towns, all criticism is good. It gives me a chance to go back into the lab. Every year I've shown it. I'm continuing to find another level, reinventing myself for the betterment of my team. And I'm going to continue to do that until I have a ring. We had a successful year. Still, Karl-Anthony Towns has learned to roll with things as they come. Towns states the following: I've always had instability in my career. You always think the best and you always expect the worst, so you never know. He also adds that he's looking forward to playing for Mike Brown, the coach who was hired to replace Tom Thibodeau. Towns states the following: I've heard so many great things about him. To be able to know him now as a person and to grow with him as a player, it's going to be fun going through this journey together. Much respect to Karl-Anthony Towns right there. He could have ran away from the criticism. He could have avoided the question, declined the question, not answered it at all. But what did he do instead? He gave an answer. He acknowledged the fact that he needs to get better. He needs to reinvent himself. He needs to do better defensively, and he needs to do better with his aggressiveness, being more assertive in games, sometimes trying to take over games, especially when he has the mismatch. He needs to do that more often this season. And clearly, by that response, he knows that, and he's going to do that. We're going to see a more improved Karl-Anthony Towns this season than we saw last season. And last season, he was an all-star. If he's only going to get better this season, especially on the defensive end, what type of Towns are we going to get this year? Only time will tell. But he's hyped and excited to play for new coach Mike Brown. He even said he's hyped to grow with Mike Brown as a player. That tells you he's not looking at 1 year. He's looking at multiple years playing for the same head coach in Mike Brown. But he wasn't done there. He kept speaking to Time Magazine, and he also spoke about what his goals are for this season. And every single Knick fan needs to hear this. Shout out to Time Magazine for giving us this following information. According to them, Towns says he's already visualizing what the diamonds on that championship jewelry would look like. To win New York's first NBA title in 53 years, while rallying the city's 700,000 strong Dominican population behind him, would fulfill a dream. Towns states the following: I know you want me to find words, but words can't describe how bad I want to win a ring. It doesn't need words. Honestly, this is what we all needed to hear. hearing one of your all-stars on the team and Karl-Anthony Towns say that he can visualize a championship, that he can visualize what it would look like to have that championship jewelry. Maybe we're getting too ahead of ourselves here, but in a wide open Eastern Conference, I can understand why Karl-Anthony Towns is saying this. He wants a championship really bad. He can see it. He is desperate for one. He wants to break the drought of 53 years that the Knicks have right now of not having an NBA championship. Karl-Anthony Towns clearly wants a ring very badly. The city of New York, clearly, we want a ring very badly. Our goals align here. And hearing Karl-Anthony Towns say that, one of your all-stars say that, it makes me even more hype and more excited for this season. He is locked in. He's focused. He wants a chip. We want a chip. This is exactly what New York has been waiting for. And this season is the best chance New York has had in decades to break that drought and bring a championship home where it belongs, to the city of New York. During his interview with Time Magazine, Karl-Anthony Towns also addressed the Tom Thibodeau firing. Here's what he had to say about that. According to Towns, I didn't know what was happening. I just knew that I left to finally get some R&R. And then I'm hearing the news. So obviously, I was surprised, like the rest of the world was. So clearly, Karl-Anthony Towns had no idea that Tom Thibodeau was going to be fired. Or at least, that's what he's telling everybody in this interview. But it's clear he was ready to move on, and he did move on, and he's happy to play for Coach Mike Brown right now. Somebody else that's also moved on this Knicks team is clearly Miles McBride. And recently, in an exclusive interview that Deuce McBride did with the New York Post Steph Bondy, he took a shot at former head coach Tom Thibodeau and the way he utilized the roster. Let's take a look at exactly what Deuce McBride had to say. Shout out to Steph Bondy of the New York Post and Newsweek for breaking down exactly what Deuce McBride had to say about Tom Thibodeau and the way he utilized the team the last few years. According to McBride, last year, we might have gotten a little bit stagnant, and the last couple of years. I feel like what Mike Brown's been preaching is just being able to play with pace. And it's not just the guy with the ball. And everybody is a possibility to score and able to take it off the dribble, of course. A more egalitarian offense could help unlock New York's attack even further. According to Deuce McBride, I've talked to Mike Brown a lot, and I think the big thing is just going to be a lot of player movement. He's giving us the foundation, and we're just going to work off of it. So I'm really excited to see all of our creativity with each other that we've been working on these last couple of months. Really excited to see where it takes us. And we all thought that Karl-Anthony Towns moved on based on what he was saying. Now, after hearing that, after hearing what Deuce said, clearly, more than anybody else on the team, Deuce McBride was ready to move on from Tom Thibodeau, and he got his wish. He was not happy with the way the roster was being utilized over the last few years. Clearly, he did not like having only one player with the ball in his hands, probably Jalen Brunson, and the offense only running through Brunson. He wants everybody to be involved, and under Mike Brown, that's exactly what's going to happen. And on top of that, we're going to see more player movement. But did anybody else find it very interesting that Deuce McBride revealed that over the last few months, he has been in constant communication with Mike Brown? That tells me it even more supports the point that I have been making over the last few weeks. McBride will thrive under new head coach Mike Brown. I believe that Miles McBride will have a breakout season under Coach Mike Brown. Given everything he's been saying, everything that Coach Mike Brown wants to do, and under Mike Brown, We have seen what he does with different rookies. We have seen what he does with different bench units around the league. He elevates them. And Miles McBride, he's about to be elevated. We haven't played one game. We haven't done anything in training camp yet. And Deuce McBride sounds more excited than I've ever heard him sound before the start of the season. That tells me he knows he's going to be utilized in a way better way, much differently than we've ever seen before. I am here for it. I am here for all of it. And these odds echo exactly what Karl-Anthony Towns was saying earlier in the video, that this season, he can feel a championship. He can see it. He can visualize it. And with these type of odds, everybody should understand why. Shout out to channel sponsor FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, for giving us these updated odds and information on who's going to win the NBA Finals this season. According to them, OKC remains on top at plus 220. Then the Cavs at number 2 at plus 650. Number 3 on this list is the Denver Nuggets at plus 900. Then we have the New York Knicks, now in 4th place at plus 950. Then the Houston Rockets at plus 1,000. And then the Los Angeles Lakers rounding out this list at plus 1,500. The expectations for this team is sky high. That's why all eyes were on the Knicks during free agency, during this offseason, to see everything that they could do and would do with this roster. Because a lot of people felt that last season, the Knicks were only a few players away from reaching the NBA Finals. And now this year, New York has added the players that we needed to add. We added the depth that we needed on this team. And we added a coach that is going to use that depth, that is going to use these players differently, that is going to play the matchups. Exactly what we always wanted. Now it's up to the Knicks, Mike Brown, and this entire Knicks roster to execute, get the job done, and get New York back to the Eastern Conference Finals. Then we have to handle business so we can get to where we belong, the NBA Finals. But what about you guys? What do you think about Karl-Anthony Towns addressing the criticism on his defense and lack of aggressiveness? And what about Deuce McBride and the comments that he had to say about former coach Tom Thibodeau? Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knick fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.